Good morning guys, welcome back to the channel. It's Craig here from Gifford's Electrical. It's currently at the point of filming March 2020 and we're on a little project that's being filmed for Channel 4's Amazing Spaces. So this actually won't air until the night of or the day after the actual main episode. So basically we're working on a wagon, old wagon, probably 1800s, 1900s, and we are, well, the client is converting it into a usable space once more. So I'll do you a quick tour and then show you what we've got to do. So main entrance is going to be here. The client's original plan was to keep as much of the original features as possible, but it was so rotten. So client's done sash windows, so really nice on those, and yeah, so these are the original boards that were things. So still a little bit to do. It's hard to believe that this is actually going to be ready for the end of March. So main entrance here, additional window will go at the back, window there, they'll all be those sash windows that slide down. So what we've got to do today is we are effectively wiring up the place. So we've already got feeds in for lighting. So we'll have a switch there. Another switch is going to go here for the bedroom. Consumer unit just on this back wall here. And then we've got I think socket in the corner, socket in the corner, socket down there. We're also going to have across the top, when this frame's finished off, this back end, we're actually going to have some LED lighting. So we're going to use a 5-meter strip, and we'll basically separate that into 2.5-meter lengths. So 2.5, just around the bed area. Another light feed ready to go. And then where I'm stood now is actually what we call the belly box. So it's underneath the wagon, and what we'll have, they're actually going to have a recessed Whirlpool Bath, just somewhere in this vicinity here, recessed Whirlpool Bath. And yeah, so we've got to wire up the supply for that. And then we've got the cooker. Basically it's going to be a wood burning stove or something similar. It's actually under here, and that'll go through there. And then you'll have a heat-proof wall, and then another socket down here, and then we're going to have a socket just in the back there and another socket just over there. So we're just going to do a very basic radial circuit for that. We've got plenty to do here. So while it's client's ready to obviously almost start cladding, as you can see he's already started to clad some of it. So yeah, need to get cracking on with that, and then we'll be in a position probably later on next week to finish the second fix once the client's finished. This is actually going to be a stud wall as well, so it's going to look really stud wall with an arch. So he's taken the arch away to he's got the templates, so he's going to make a really nice arch out of that. And then we've got our main feeds so our consumer unit will be here, like I said, and then going down we'll go straight down into the belly box for both the incoming supply, which would be via obviously your typical commando socket, for which you use for obviously caravans, but also we'll take our supply down for the Whirlpool Bath. So the only joy as you can see, this is what I have to contend with at the moment. So the entire place is like this. So yeah, that is it in a nutshell. So what I'll do is I will get the camera set up, I'll get all my tools in, and we'll we'll put you on the time lapse. So these are fixings, the brick clip fixings that PV Plumber was using a little while ago. Absolutely good sturdy fixture fitting onto there. Obviously we've got a back box on there. We're actually going to have a second one which will, so we might move this up or down, but basically the consumer unit will fix onto this. Like I said, it's not going anywhere, so consumer unit will fix onto this at 2 points, so probably here, yeah, roughly about here and here. So when we get the consumer unit, we'll mark through where our holes are and then drill through. And to obviously, because it's going on this partition, I will obviously seal the holes as well, just to, so when we got the cables in, I'll just fill it with some fire sealant, just to obviously prevent any potential spread of fire. Linion clips, again, my go-to clips really. I love these things, absolutely brilliant. I know obviously, you know, everybody's got different tastes, but I think they're brilliant. So we'll clip that in, and then yeah, this will basically be hidden behind this. So, and then there's going to be shelving across here as well. So this will obviously, cable runs behind, and there's actually a little bit of shelving as well. So that's where at the moment. So I'll stick you back on the laps, and yeah, we'll go from there. Okay guys, so cabling's in, and as you can see some of the cladding's in as well, which is going to look really nice. We've gone for light oak sockets with USB outputs. So yeah, all the cables now run, and our final socket on this radial is going to be in that corner. And then we've got 2 light feeds plus the main feed coming into that switch there. Everything's obviously clipped using linion clips. We've got our extendable brackets in ready for our Hager fuse board. We've got so basically the supply that's going to feed it eventually is going to be off a, so we've got a 3-phase board. It's a Havells board and struggling to find parts for it, so we're actually going to be changing that as well at some point for a new board. And this wagon will actually be fed from a dedicated 32 amp supply, so it'll have a proper caravan hookup point, which will be on a separate, it's a TT system because of where we are, so it'll have a 32 amp RCD in outside the caravan, we've got obviously the Hager board, which will be set up accordingly. We've got the feed going outside. We've got to do that yet, so we've got to drill through, get that in. So we've still got a little bit to go on here. I found out that this is actually the program is gonna be airing in April. So this will come out later, obviously the day or two after that. So yeah, happy days. And yeah, it's coming along nicely, really. It looks really good with the cladding on. And like I said, we're going to get our feeds in, like down here, main incoming feed, and also one feed to a motor and pump, motor and heater for the Whirlpool Bath. So we've spec'd that for 25 amps. But that's obviously when you take into our diversity, we're actually looking at, we've got a 6 amp breaker for the lights, 20 amp breaker for the sockets, and a 25 amp breaker for the Whirlpool Bath. When you take into diversity, we're actually looking at 31.5 amps in all. But yeah, the clients, I mean, nothing's gonna be running like that. He's not having a TV in here. Literally, at most, there'll be a kettle at some point, but that's not going to be used often because they've got the stove. It's just in the event that, you know, in the morning when they haven't lit the fire, etc. Whirlpool Bath's obviously not going to be running. So actually, the only thing that's going to be running most of the time are going to be the lights. And you've got 3 bulkheads, and we're fitting some. I don't know why I touched the screen then. We're fitting some LEDs, which would be nice in the bedroom area. So okay, guys, that is the board made off. So our cables come in through the top. We then have everything in ferrules, because it's all stranded cable. We have to use flexi as per the regs, because it is classed as I guess a caravan. So everything's in flexi. So we've got 16mm CPC line and neutral. They go to a 32 amp commando socket. That commando socket's going to a 32 amp RCD that is on time delay. So this main switch is just purely acting as on off, and then the Wagon is itself inside the property. So if there's any issues with the cabling in here, they're controlled by obviously their individual breakers. The RCD outside then feeds back to the main 3-phase board, or will do once we've upgraded it to accommodate the new breakers. So this actually won't have any power. As with most caravans, you tend to do dead tests if you're building them, because obviously you may not have power there. So when it comes to certifications, it's been agreed with the client that obviously there are going to be limitations on doing a live test, because obviously the existing infrastructure within the area I'm working is not able to provide power solely for this unit. So it will be tested, dead test, client will get a certificate, and then obviously once everything else is done, we can come back and revisit doing a proper test on it, or live test afterwards, once we've resolved the other issues. But the key thing is, because of the deadline is the end of March with the program Amazing Spaces, which hopefully you may have watched, obviously this will come out after that. So yeah, I'm going to crack on with some of the other bits. I've got to make off the sockets if we can. I don't think they've arrived yet, but we'll probably strip back, and because they're almost ready to go, so we'll strip back, probably Wago it, and then at least I can do some dead tests and whatnot while I wait for sockets. Alright guys, catch you in a bit. Okay guys, so I've linked out line and neutral, so I'm going to do R1, RN at the moment, at the furthest point. So the lights, we've got one feed here, and we've got 2 more, so it's probably the one on the far end that's there, but we'll do the R1, RN first. And then, so you can see that, so that's reading 0.82, but I haven't nulled my leads, so it's saying null off. So I'm just going to connect my leads up, null those, brilliant, so it's now nulled. Let's redo that. Now, apologies for any banging you might hear. We've got the outdoor cladding being added. Alright, so we got 0.19. So although we don't record this on any of our paperwork, it's just good to know that we have continuity throughout. Let's get a proper connection, shall we, Craig? So we got 0.21. Of course, this is the middle light. So, and this one should be a little bit higher again. Now, all of these will have bootlace ferrules on. So 0.24 is our highest, so that's all right. And then let's do the socket. Let's write that down. So what I do find handy is, obviously, if you are wearing it around the neck, don't put your leads around your neck, but clip them to your strap. Right. Oh, blimey. Notes. There we go, clean page. So, lights. R1, N, yeah, 0.19, 0.21, 0.24. R1, R2, and then we have sockets. And because it's a radial on the sockets, we'll just go to the far one. This will obviously prove our continuity throughout the installation, which, providing the client hasn't gone through with the cladding when he's put the nails on or anything like that, we should be good to go. So So 0.45. Don't forget, see that, 0.45. Right, so I'll just go and redo them onto R1 and R2. Now what I have done is, because obviously everything's already in bootlace ferrules already, I've used the bigger Wagos, the ones up to 6mm, and it works a treat with the ferrules on. So that one and that one. The other reason I'm doing it like this at the moment and not putting the socket straight on is that I can do a full-blown, a full-on, obviously, insulation resistance check. So at the full 500 volts, as they are having USB sockets. So when I come to put the sockets on, I'll obviously redo my continuities and everything just to be on the safe side. But I'll do a full test now for insulation resistance, and then do a 250 test when the sockets are on. So we've got 0.47 on the socket, so slightly higher, 0.46. Okay, we'll go with the 0.46. So yeah, not bad on that one. And then we've got, let's do our lights. And I think the client's changing, not quite a fan of the bulkheads like that. If they had a centre fitting, it probably would have been all right, but could probably still drill them out. So yeah, but I'll let obviously that's for the client to decide. So in the meantime, what will probably happen is these will just be connected with Wagos. See, not quite on there. 0.24. Fantastic. So I mean, we shouldn't have too much of a deviation because it's 2.5 and 1.5 excuse me, size cabling anyway, so it shouldn't make much of a difference. No, it shouldn't make any difference, to be fair. 0.21, and then the final one. 0.2. So yeah, not a million miles off at all. Also confirms that the cabling at this point in time is all intact. 0.20 and 0.21. So yeah, absolutely happy with that. So what I'll do is I'll get set up for the insulation resistance. So we'll do the... So because obviously we haven't got any loads connected to the cable, we can just go ahead and do sorry about the banging. We can do line and neutral, and then we can do line and CPC. So like I said, we shouldn't have any issues whatsoever. No, greater than 999 on both of those. Perfect. And we'll do the same again for these sockets. Excellent. And yeah, and we'll do that one and that one. Excellent. So yeah, at 500 volts we've got no issues, all greater than 999, which is what we'd expect. It is a new cable after all. I've already actually tested this off camera because it's actually it goes under the belly box, so it's a bit of a nightmare to get in there and crawl around. So yeah, we're all good on the testing front. So we had just for on the testing side of things, these ones were sitting at 0.45. It literally comes up, goes down, and then there's a big coil of it. So yeah, 0.45. And of course insulation resistance came up at greater than 999 at 500 volts. So that feed is going to be for the bath. So we'll get the sockets and all the light switches on, and then I'll probably retest just to confirm everything is still okay. It's unlikely it's going to change, obviously, because most of the cladding around the sockets and switches is done. So actually there's a very small chance. There's always a small chance, but it's minute really that any damage is going to occur. It's probably going to occur if there is any issues in this vicinity here when it gets boxed off. But we've got our LED driver in, just going to solder up all those and everything, and then we've got strips running 2 meters that way, and then we'll come 2 meters that way as well. Just got to sort out the pinning of the cable just to make sure that, again, there's nothing going in that vicinity, and the client's taken detailed photos. That's how we requested it to be run, because there isn't any way from there to there really. So we've gone up to the top as possible and then down the curved beam. So we'll do that as well with the LED feeds. But yeah, we're good to go on this side of things. Go and put everything back together, make sure it's all torque tight again, and then we'll put the cover on. We can put our test labels on and circuit details. So right, yeah. Guys, we are now in July, so it's been a few months since we were supposedly meant to do the filming, but thanks to COVID, obviously that got delayed. So the final filming has just been finished. So George and the team have now gone, and basically what I'll do is I'll spin the camera around and you can see the finished article. All right. Okay guys, so this is the finished article. I have to say it's looking compared to what it looked like when I first got here, obviously a lot better, and obviously the ground's a lot drier now, so it's not actually a mud bath. So we have got the steps are removable, they can just slide out, and you've got the belly box underneath the storage, and then on the back side is the other side as well. So you can access the belly box from both sides. If I take you up, we've got an old-fashioned doorbell. So there you go. Obviously, nice stove as you enter into the building, the wagon. You've got this nice stove, and then obviously, it's all been kitted out. So you've got again some storage under here, as well as a storage under here, and it doubles up as a seat as well. And you actually have, if I just move these out of the way, what you've got here is, cleverly hidden, is a water closet. How cool is that? So obviously it's all about, as with amazing spaces, it's all about keeping, making the most out of the space that's available. So what they've also done is underneath here is a Whirlpool bath. Now I think it's got storage in it, yep, so got the bath and the robes, but you've got a Whirlpool bath under there, so you actually sit inside the floor when you're having a bath, so that's pretty cool. Obviously we've got the oak effect sockets, little window shutters. Now anything, so basically in terms of the project, if you've, obviously this video will go out as I've said before after the screening of Amazing Spaces, but anything with the bluish paint is actually all is the original boarding. So the client tried to keep as much as he could of that, where it was so rotten it wasn't always possible. But obviously with this window, obviously that one just slides up, obviously it's just counterbalanced, so it will just stay there eventually. So yeah, you've got the nice sash window there, and then obviously the little shutters. Open those back up. And then the other thing I like on this design, again I showed you before, but all of the big windows are exactly the same. They've got these, you know, they double up as a surface to put stuff on, but actually you can just, when you want some privacy, just slide them up and away you go. And then, so the bed has been designed in the way that if you really want to, you can turn it around. So obviously at the moment it goes widthways, but it can be rotated around. Again, the windows open up and you've got the shutters there. Again, the oak sockets, consuming and everything. And sadly, basically, obviously as part of the filming, they're not allowed to advertise anything. So I've got to get a new label on that. But basically they've removed the RCD label off there. I mean, everything else is on there, but it wasn't even on show. It actually been covered by the curtain anyway, so it wasn't as if there was any advertising to be had. Light switch, we'll see. I think I've shown you these bits and pieces before, but you know, it's all nice to see it fully finished. You know, it's been a while since we've been in here. Where is the yeah, and then obviously we've replaced the controller for the lighting, because the one that came with it was absolutely atrocious. So now we've got you know, a much better unit from Knightsbridge, which allows us to cycle through the lighting that way. But yeah, all in all, it's turned out a really lovely build. Let's go back outside. You know, really lovely build out in the Cotswolds. Like I said, you've seen it before where it was all mud and rubbish, but actually, you know, finished off. I think the plan is at some point the roof will get an additional liner or curved tin. It's just lead at the moment, but it's, you know, perfectly watertight. It's nice and cozy in there. Actually, when the fire's going, it's really nice and warm. So guys, I hope you've enjoyed the video. It's been a bit of a labour to make, but I hope you've enjoyed it. Please remember to like and subscribe to the channel. You can do that using the big red button, and then if you hit the bell symbol, you can set your notifications to all. You get a post every time I post a new video. And that's it. Be safe, and I'll catch you again soon.